Let's jump into problem 1128. We're selling a capital asset at a gain or loss. I love this type of question. We buy an asset, we depreciate it for a while, and then we sell it. So, and of course, we're going to do a bunch of journal entries. Speedy Couriers purchased a new delivery van on August 1st, 2031 for $60,000 cash. The company expects to keep the van for 5 years, after which time it plans to sell it for $6,000. So we got a few calculations to do right off the top here. We know the cost of our van was $60,000. We know our residual value, our salvage value, is going to be $6,000, and therefore we know our depreciable cost. Depreciable cost is $54,000. So those are all numbers floating around in the back of my mind as we jump into it. It says the company's accountant wishes to use straight line. Okay, that's good news for us. That's the easiest of the depreciation methods. Just gonna have a little cough. And Speedy Couriers has a fiscal year end of December 31st. On June 30th, 2032, they sell the van for $52,000. So we bought the van August 1st, 2031, and not even a year later we sell it, even though our expectation was to keep it for 5 years. Happens all the time. You buy an asset, it's a dud, you sell it early, or it happens all the time that you just keep using it beyond the 5 years. The 5 years was our best guess, though, at the time we bought the asset. So it says record all relevant journal entries for the van. Okay, that's straightforward enough. First relevant date, August 1st, 2031. Why is that relevant? Because I bought the van. So let's buy ourselves a van. Debit van, $60K. Credit cash, $60,000. Next relevant date is going to be our fiscal year end, and our fiscal year end is December 31st. So on December 31st, we got to figure out how much depreciation has taken place, and we got to figure out how many months have gone by. Count August, because we bought the thing August 1st, so we depreciated for August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. Well, our depreciation is $54,000. That's our depreciable cost over 5 years. $10,800 per year in depreciation. And we want to take 5/12 of a year. That's $4,500 of depreciation. Debit, depreciation, expense, credit, accumulated depreciation on the van for $4,500. So what's our van worth according to the accountant? Now, again, who knows what the market value or the fair value of the van is? Just the book value of this van. The accounting records value of the van is van 60. AD on the van, 4,500. Van minus AD is van net. The net book value of our van, lots of fives here, 55,500. So the accounting office thinks this van is worth about $55,000. And that's the number that would be on the financial statements on December 31st. Okay, next year begins. We use the van until June 30th. That's 6 months, right? January, February, March, April, May. Now look, we count June because it's June 30th. We did own the van for those 6 months. So I got to do 6/12. I got to do depreciation up until the date of the sale. We sell the thing on June 30th. So I got to depreciate this van up to June 30th, 2032, and that's 6/12. So 10,800 times 6/12. What is that going to be? 5,400. 10,8 times 6 divided by 12. Just got to check. 5,400. All right, so depreciate it. Debit depreciation expense, credit AD van, and the amount is 5,400. So what do we think our van is worth? The accountant, I mean. After having done that entry, the van is still on the books for 60. The AD now is increased. It was 4,500. It's gone up by 5,400. The total depreciation so far is 9,900. Van minus AD equals van net. and that's $50,100. So we think our van's worth $50,000. We sell it for 52. Is there a gain or a loss? And the answer is there's a gain. How much is the gain? $1,900 is how much we got above what the accountant thought the van was worth. So let's do that journal entry then. Also on June 30th, did cash change hands? Yes. Debit cash for 52. We got to get rid of the van and rid of the accumulated depreciation. I'll leave room for the debit to accumulated depreciation. Let's get rid of the van. 60. That's what the van's on the books for. We get rid of the accumulated depreciation on the van, and the total depreciation was $9,900. And then we just balance the journal entry. So I add up my debits and my credits. On the debit side, I have 61,900. On the credit side, I have 60,000. To make it balance, I need to credit some account for 1,900. You should all know the account by now is gain on sale and other revenue. Okay, there we go. We have answered part A. Part B says, assume that instead of 52,000, Speedy had received 45,000. Re-record the sale journal entry. So we just got to redo this journal because everything up to here is the same. So we're just going to redo June 30th. And it's just a different debit to cash. So same asset, same depreciation, everything's the same so far, but when we go to sell it, you know, the market isn't as good and we only get $45,000 for our van, and we sell it. So we get the cash, we get rid of the van, debit AD van, 9,900. We get rid of the AD, and we also get rid of the van, 60,000. And, you know, just looking at this, I got paid $45,000 for a van that I thought was worth $50,000. I lost on the deal. I lost $5,100, right? I got paid $45,000 for something that's worth $50,000. I lost $5,000. And that's what the journal entry tells us as well. I've got $60,000 in credits. I've got $54,900 of debits. I'm off by $5,100. I'm missing a debit this time. When I was missing a credit, it was a gain on sale. Now that we're missing a debit, it's a loss on sale. And there we have it. We have solved part B. So we've solved 11-2A fully. As always, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.